Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Wednesday, the 17th day of July, 2024, Wednesday of the 15th week of the year, the 15th week in Ordinary Time. Another hot one today in Carolina, probably in the triple digits, they say. We'll see what happens. But rain is supposed to come in, thunderstorms, and hopefully that will cool everything down a little bit. They were saying by the weekend we may have low to mid 80s, which would be very interesting to see what that's like after all of these days of all of this very, very hot weather. But it's not so bad at the moment right now. And so daily reflection. On this Wednesday of the 15th week of the year, we continue with Isaiah. And Isaiah, God speaks through Isaiah in an interesting way today because God talks about Assyria and Assyria's purpose. Again, this great kingdom, of the Middle East, Iraq, Iran. It would be north of the Persian Gulf. The Persian Gulf area would have been the kingdom of Babylon later on. But Assyria, great power, kind of in the northern part of that section of the Middle East. And again, it is looking to destroy Jerusalem. It's looking to destroy, looking to destroy Israel, looking to destroy Samaria, gain it for territory, like all nations that are expansive want to do, and things like that. But God uses God through Isaiah speaks about Assyria in a very interesting way today, because God says that Assyria is being used as a rod to punish Israel for its iniquities, its failure to listen to God, its failure to be faithful to the covenant, all these kinds of things like that. So Assyria is being used as a rod to punish Israel, because again, that's what God does. It has been a lot of times punishes, and using a rod like you would hit a child or something like that. So, but again, it's the time and place and what have you. But the more profound understanding that comes out of this is that while God wanted to use Assyria to punish Israel, kind of Assyria began to go its own way, not just to punish, but as Isaiah says today, but also to destroy. Again, that sense in which Assyria went beyond the bounds of what God intended Assyria to do. And so now Assyria does all these terrible things, trying to destroy Israel, trying to wipe it off the face of the earth, which again, Assyria will do. The 10 lost tribes, never to be heard from again, all kinds of things like that. And that has to give us pause. Again, we read through Scripture so quickly sometimes, and we read through Scripture with this post-Reformation understanding of God and ourselves and what have you, that we don't really see a deeper understanding of what is our relationship with God and really who is God. Now, it has to be puzzling for us in one way that Isaiah would say that God uses Assyria to punish, and yet Assyria goes beyond what God intends. Well, okay, if God is in control, you can very rightly say, and the non-believer can rightly say, if God is in control, what is Assyria doing going beyond God's control? How dare Assyria, go beyond what God intended Assyria to do? And again, God will say, "I'll punish Assyria later on, and it will end up with nothing," and that's what happens. But the whole idea is, okay, God, where is the control? Either you control Assyria to punish Israel, or you don't. It's a very good question and important question to ask. And so what does this reveal for us? Well, again, it reveals in a wonderful way that God takes free will very seriously. Again, if that is indeed how we have been created, with all this free will and whatever it is, God takes that very seriously. And so God cannot force. God can direct, God can guide, God can offer alternatives, God can point the way, but God cannot force us to do anything, which opens up a whole other door of things that we sometimes don't want to bother because it makes our heads hurt, because it causes us to think too much, and yet that's what we're supposed to do, is to keep thinking about what is our relationship with God and what does it mean to be a part of this relationship with God. So taking our free will seriously. How do we understand that? What does that mean? Well, again, it means that, God will say, do this. If we choose not to, God in many ways allows that. But the consequences that follow for not following, are also something that we will have to deal with. So we have to get away, I think, from the whole idea, why did God cause this? Why did God cause that? Why did God let this happen? Why did God not stop this from happening? Because that's not That's not the question to ask, because that's not that's not the position to take. It is, what did we fail to do, or what did we fail to see in the many options that God holds open for us to move into goodness and wonder and beauty in our lives that we did not take up, because either we thought we knew better, as God says of Assyria, or we thought that this other way was better, or we didn't trust that God knew what God was doing. All these kinds of things that seem to get in the way of this. Does this work to foil God's plan? No, it doesn't. It doesn't stop God from coming to completion, to making to completion God's plan for us, but it delays it and delays it and delays it and delays it. Again, if we knew exactly, again, our role, if we understood exactly our role and we believed our role within all of this, we could be living in the kingdom right now, living in the reign of God right now. But instead, we keep going our own way. We keep trying to say we know better. We try to keep moving, ahead, and not letting God be the one, who truly guides us, who truly allows us to become the people we are meant to become. The more that we fight against that, the more that we fight against ourselves and fight against the destiny and future that God holds out for us. In the Gospel of the Day in Matthew, it is the reading that is used on the Feast of St. Francis about those who are tired and burdened and coming to God to get rest, and that God revealing to the little ones, what is hidden from all the ages. Again, in that sense of vulnerability, in that sense of being open to what is that God can do for us. There lies our future. There lies our destiny. There lies the hope for which we yearn. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.